Hey boys and girls, today we are working on Course B, Lesson 8. So if you scroll down, we are continuing our work in loops. So right here, I want you to pay attention to Lesson 8, and we are going to complete some of the puzzles here. Loops with Laurel. So in this lesson, we are going to continue the concepts of loops. And Laurel, the adventurer, she's using loops to collect treasures in open cave spaces. So a new block that you will see is Get Treasure block. Okay, so I'm going to show that to you. The very first puzzle is actually a video. You can watch that on your own. Then click Continue. Right here, I want you to pay attention that in puzzle 2, this is a free play. So the way that free play works is there's a goal on the side under the stage. This is the stage. And the goal is gem 0/1, which means that you only need to pick up one gem. Okay, right now you have 0, you haven't collected anything, and all you need to do is click pick up one. Then when you're done, you would click the word finish. But if you are up for a challenge, you can think about how you can pick up all of the gems. Okay, so that would be a challenge for those of you who are really good at coding so far. So here's Laurel. If I were to just pick up one, all I have to tell Laurel to do is, I'll let you think about it too. So if you want to think about it on your own, you could pause the video right here, think about it, put it in your puzzle and come back, or you can keep watching. So here I'm going to put east, and then here you get treasure or get gem. That is the new block that you'll be seeing. So if I click run, here you'll see that in the goal there's a check here because she accomplished her goal 1 out of 1. So then we click finish. But if you want to try to collect more, you can reset this puzzle and continue working. Otherwise, you need to click finish. Once I click finish, it says great work, you selected one, continue. Here you go. Move Laurel to the treasure, then use the get treasure block to pick it up. Get all 4 piles to pass this level. So once again, make sure you look at the word goal. It says 0/4, which means you need to pick up 4. And right now you have nothing picked up. Okay, so I want you could pause the video here and think about it, or you can keep watching. All right, so here you could have came up with go east, get gem, go east, get gem, go east, get gem, go east, get gem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 sets. So I'm going to run this program. And it says, good job. Now, I also want to replay it because I also want to show you another way of running the same program. So here, you might notice that there is a pattern, okay? So east, get gem, east, get gem. And we notice that this code continues 4 times. And there's a special block for that. When something repeats over and over again, we use the loop block and we look at how many times this actually repeats itself. So east and get gem, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So right here in the repeat, I could change it to 4. I can remove everything else because I don't need it anymore. And all I have to say is, hey, Laurel, go 4 times. I want you to do the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to reset. And right now, nothing is collected. But when I click run, this is happening over and over again 4 times. Yes, and that's a success. Good job. So you're going to come to another video, which you can watch on your own, and this is going to go over the repeat block, but you guys are so good that you probably know all about it already. So you're going to reach puzzle 5, and it says, how can Laurel get all 5 piles of treasure using only 1 east block? So I want you to think about that. Click OK, and then put your blocks in. You can pause the video if you need to. All right, we'll see here. I want you to point out that In the corner, in the left corner of east, there is a tiny little gray circle with the number 1 on it. That means in order to accomplish this puzzle, you can only use 1 east block. And I want you to think back on what we talked about in puzzle 3, where we're using a special repeat block. So think about how you can use this repeat block and 1 east block to pick up all those gems. What you can do is you can also pull out step by step what you think will happen and then remove what you don't need afterward. So most of you probably would have pulled out an east block and get gem, and you might do that 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you notice that when you pull those out, the east block, let me see, when it's not attached to when run, it doesn't notice that you pulled out east blocks. But if I attached it right here, you'll notice that there's an exclamation mark. This yellow mark means you use too many, and you would need to only use 1. Okay, so if you see the exclamation mark, you could keep using the blocks here. It's no big deal. But when you finally make a decision of what you want the algorithm to look like, then throw away the other blocks that you don't need and come up with the repeat sign with the east and get treasure, and then run. So here you'll see the goal would change if you're able to pick up all 5 gems. Good job. Click continue. All right, so in this one, in puzzle 6, this is where you need to practice your debugging skills. Right here, they already give you a list of blocks. I want to point out that if you see a gray block, such as east and get gem, these are all shaded in gray and not blue. That means you cannot throw these out. Okay, they actually have to stay there. You can only add some blue blocks if you need it, but you can't toss these in the garbage. So when you see a set of code, run it first to see what it does. East 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder what in this code needs to be changed. So I'm going to reset. It looks like we picked up 4 out of the 6 gems. But in the repeat block, you might notice that it says 5 times, but on the stage, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4. So I would change this to 4, and then let's see what happens. So far, so good. So we got to this part, and when we get here, let's think about what blocks do we need to pick up the last gem. And right here in gold, you'll also see that you have 5 out of the 6 gems. Okay, I'll pull out an east block, and when she goes east, she needs to pick up the gem. I'm going to reset and run it one more time. Excellent. Click continue. All right, in puzzle 7, you are also going to continue using your debugging skills. So first, you would notice that there are already code blocks here, and you would notice that in these corners, the east and south is at 0, which means that there's already an east and south block, and you do not need to pull any more of those blocks out. Let's run the code first. 1, 2, 3, 4. So far, so good. So it goes to south, get treasure, and then east and get treasure. Let's reset. So far, this set of blocks seems to work well. And he does go south, but he only goes south once. And we need him to go a total of 1, 2, 3. So right here, I will pull out a repeat block, put detach, that means click on the east, pull it out, then put south and get gem inside the repeat and connect this set together. And then reattach the east. So let's run this code and see what happens. Okay, so far so good. And that's it. So the goal was 8 out of 8 and you got them all. All right, in puzzle 8, you'll notice that in this puzzle, you have to think about how you can use a repeat block to pick up all these gems. And we see consistently that there's 4 of these going a certain direction, and 1, 2, 3 going a certain direction, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going another direction. So I want you to pause this video if you want to try to figure it out on your own first, and then press play, and I will put the answer. All right, if you want to check yourself, Laurel goes 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a certain direction, and she goes east and gets gem. The next set is, you can also use the step button to test yourself. Just see that it's going in the right direction so far. 2, 3, 4. And from here, you can decide, what other blocks do I need? So here, he has to go south and get gem. And then he has to do it 3 times. So I'm going to pull out the repeat block. And you see the repeat block are lined up underneath each other. Okay, they're not inside the loop, because if they're inside this loop, that means it's going to do these steps and then all of these steps for 4 times. And that's not what we want. We want those steps separately. Okay, use the step button. You actually have to reset, and it goes back into the beginning. But if from here, we can see that it could go down south, okay, 3 times. Then I'm going to pull up my repeat block again, and then double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5. And then it's going west. Gotcha. So let's test this out. 1, 2, 3, 4 east, and then 1, 2, 3 south. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 west. Great job, guys. Click continue. I'm going to skip 9 because I think you're up for this this puzzle, and I'm going to come over to 10 because this is a challenge puzzle, and I want you to see if you're ready for the challenge. I want you to say, I'm ready. If you're not, and you want to come back to it last, you can say skip for now and come back to it later. I'm going to click I'm ready, and here's Laurel, and she's going, it looks like 2 L's here. What can she do? So I'm going to use my repeat block because it looks like she's going, so you could plan out what you're thinking. Okay, she's going south, and every time she goes, in every step, she has to pick up a gem. 1, 2, 3. So this is 3. And then 1, 2. 2 times she goes east. Okay? So let's test this out for a second. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so far so good, right? And I'm not sure if you noticed, but when she gets, after she picks up the gem from the first L looking shape, here at the bottom, it looks like the same exact L repeats itself. So if I were to pull out more blocks, it would look like this. It would be almost a duplicate of what happened in the beginning. All right, so let's see if this works. Reset, I'm gonna run this puzzle. Yay, awesome. Now I'm going to actually click try again because for some of you, I want to push your thinking a little. Do you see a pattern? Do you recognize a pattern here? Okay. I'm going to give you a few seconds to think. You could pause to think. And when you're ready, click play again. All right, so if you notice, this says repeat 3 times, go south. Repeat 2 times, go east. Repeat 3 times, go south. Repeat 2 times, go east. So if I bring this next to each other, we would notice that these 2 repeat blocks, these sets of repeat blocks are the same. They're duplicate. So for those of you who are up for a challenge, if I put this repeat block and put this repeat block inside and say, hey, can you do this for me 2 times? Do you think it's going to do the same exact thing as having these 2 set of blocks? Well, let's find out. Reset and run. So I ran through the code 1 time, and here it goes. Repeat for a second time. Woohoo! Great job, guys. You have to click finish and click continue. All right, so puzzle 11 to 13, I think you can handle, and those are the ones I want you to continue working on. For puzzle 13, I want to point out that this looks like another challenge for those of you who are able to just pick up one, but let's see if you can get as many. Can you pick up all of the gems? All right, can't wait to see what you've done. Happy coding!